Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome back, everybody. Great to have you here with me. Excited to get into episode 2119 of the Cabral Concept. You can find all the show notes at stephencabral.com/2119. All right, today's show is going to be about creating maximum metabolic flexibility through fasting. And if you don't know what metabolic flexibility is, it's essentially your ability to be able to miss a meal, have a larger meal, go a little bit longer for a fast, go a day without eating, be able to travel and feel like you're okay. The energy level is there. So your metabolism is all about your energy production, your body's ability to regulate blood sugar, your body's ability to regulate hormones, your body's ability to regulate your nervous system. And it does that through nutrient intake, but also being able to compensate when food isn't there. So we're going to be talking about that today because I know that intermittent fasting and longer fasts are such a big and hot topic right now. I want to make sure that you're getting the actual accurate based information based on science, but also backed up by clinical practice. So I could tell you for sure that a lot of people are doing a lot of the right things for their health, right? They're eating right, they're timing their meals right, they're exercising multiple times a day to keep the weight off, right? Because part of metabolic flexibility is being able to not work out, miss a day or two, and not gain weight, right? That's part of your metabolism. That's part of having a healthy thyroid and cortisol levels and neurotransmitters like norepinephrine, right? It's all part of the whole overall pie to being healthy. So here's the thing though. A lot of people, when they let that go for a couple days, all of a sudden they start to slide right back. They start to gain the weight. They have more fatigue when they're not doing their cold plunges or cold showers or fasting through breakfast, right? And the problem is that those people are showing signs of low metabolic flexibility. That means their health isn't truly as great as they think it is. Because in order for them to feel balanced and healthy, they need to be perfect. And being perfect is not necessarily ideal if you need to be perfect. So let me break that down. So being perfect is great, meaning like you're eating healthy foods, a nice anti-inflammatory diet plan, you're eating the rainbow, you're exercising, you're moving your body, you're getting your 10,000 steps a day, you're doing your quarterly functional medicine detoxes, you're meditating, you're sleeping for about 8 hours a night, you're doing your breath work, have a success mindset. Life is good. But, and all that's great, but you should be able to not necessarily be perfect and still feel just as great. So what I want to share with you is this, wherever you're at right now, meaning if you need to be perfect or you're just not feeling great in general, meaning you gain weight easily, you have brain fog, you have low mood, you have low energy, those are definite signs of weak metabolic flexibility. And again, when I say the word weak, I mean like a muscle that hasn't been trained is weak. And your metabolic flexibility can be trained and strengthened so that you actually have a little bit more leeway in what you do. So for example, if you have a cheat meal or flex meal, whatever you'd like to call it, and you gain 3 or 4 pounds and it takes you a week to get it off, your body is not very metabolically flexible, meaning that your body says, whoa, what's going on here? Blood sugar's up, insulin's up, fat burning's down, headaches are back. We don't want that, right? We don't want that. So what we want to be able to do is say, listen, you're not going out of your way to have pizza and ice cream every night, but every once in a while you go out and you might have those things. And if you have those things, how does your body react? I want you to be able to have it, enjoy it if you choose to, and then your body is totally fine. Right? You don't try to take advantage of that because we know they're not health foods, but you're okay. And if you are, it's a great sign of metabolic flexibility, meaning your body has enough of its vital reserves meaning your deficiencies are good, you built them up, your toxicities are low, you've removed them to be able to handle that. The last part of metabolic flexibility, which we're not going to talk about today because we're going to focus more on diet, nutrition, but it's something I used to suffer from, and it's sleep. If I ever miss a night's sleep back before the age of 27, because remember, I was an insomniac anyways, but if I didn't stay in bed long enough, get enough sleep, I would wake up the next day with swollen glands, a stuffy nose, headaches, low mood. I was a miserable person to be around. There's no doubt about it. So I had very little metabolic flexibility. Over time, I built that up. I built it up because I was learning from a lot of these great practitioners that I call mentors. And my main mentor, Dr. Pete. She taught me about Ayurveda, how to combine that with functional medicine lab testing, understanding my unique genotype, understanding what my phenotype was, where I was today, and then also how to incorporate state-of-the-art, as I said, functional medicine and naturopathy. And that's where we are here today. And honestly, it works, and it works phenomenally well. So what I want to share with you right now is how to become more metabolically flexible so that you can do an overnight flight like I have to do every once in a while and not get great sleep and still feel fine the next day. And also go out and have a cheat meal, a flex meal. I just had what I always call an epic flex meal the other night. I had just done 4 days of in-person gatherings for our leadership team and our ambassadors. And I was eating clean. I was eating healthy because I wanted to make sure that my mind was healthy, right? That my body was healthy and that I had good energy and I had good sleep that night. I wasn't feeling weighed down. I was feeling light, feeling strong. But when that was all over, Saturday it ended around 2:30, 3 o'clock. That night, I said to my family, hey, let's go out. Let's enjoy a dinner together. Typically, Friday or Saturday night is when I have my flex meal. And I had whatever I wanted to eat. And it was pasta, and it was, we had a nice little, what was it? I can't even remember. Some type of burrata-based salad in the beginning, things that I'm not eating typically a lot of. I had a drink, which I don't drink a lot. I had dessert. I had an amazing key lime-based dessert. It was fantastic. I loved it. I enjoyed it. Next day I wake up, I felt fantastic. I felt great. No issues at all. Now, if I had done that 15 years ago, I would have been... my face would have been swollen. I would have had swollen glands. I would have been, I'd have a migraine headache and all sorts of issues. So again, I came from a place that many people are probably at right now, suffering, but I'm here to tell you, you can and will get better if you begin to implement a lot of these integrative health practitioner-based teachings. So what do we need to do? How do we become more metabolically flexible so that we can extend an intermittent fast, that we can do a longer functional medicine detox, right? If you go to do a functional medicine detox, which is like 2 days of liquid-based fasting into that third day, and then you're having lunch, which creates deeper levels of autophagy and is so great for the body. But if you are all over the map, and a lot of people don't feel well because they cut out coffee the same day. If you've been drinking a cup of coffee and you need that, don't cut it out the same day you do a detox. Do it a week before, right? So that you're not getting all of the symptoms that you blame on the detox that are really just caffeine withdrawal, right? So here's the thing though, but let's say you've already cut out the caffeine or you want to keep it in, just keep it in. But if you are doing the detox and you're feeling headaches and low energy and low mood, like I was the first time I started to do functional medicine detoxes, and that's why they're so much easier now, then again, low metabolically flexible, but showing that your body has signs of probably quite a few deficiencies, quite a few toxicities, right? So here's what we need to do. There's 4 main things. 4 main things is we need to control blood sugar, all right? So that's number 1. You'll never do well with intermittent fasting, which is 12 hours or more a day, if you have imbalanced blood sugar. And you'll most likely always have imbalanced blood sugar if you do not improve cell receptor status. That means your cells need to turn over and they need to be healthier in 12 to 16 weeks from now as they all begin to turn over every single day, but they're weighted at around the 90-day average. So that means you can then eventually eat carbohydrates again because your cells actually allow insulin to unlock the cell door to then enable the glucose to go into the cell. Of course, we don't want to necessarily overdo it, but certainly you want to be able to balance blood sugar and be able to digest carbohydrates and utilize them. The next part is this. You'll never balance blood sugar if you were like me and you have all sorts of HPA axis adrenal issues. So since I had my adrenals were not producing proper levels of cortisol. I had to rebalance those first. And you absolutely can and will. So again, go to stephencabral.com/podcast, and you can see all of my podcasts on rebalancing the adrenals and hormones there. The next is liver. If your liver is currently not able to keep up with all of the toxicity in your body, whether it be gut-based, candida, even parasites, or bacteria, or proteins that are moving through leaky gut or intestinal permeability, you're going to be in tough shape. You're probably going to have skin issues, migraines, headaches, immune issues, allergies, asthma, as well as autoimmune. So we need to fix that, right? We need to fix that. We need to fix the gut, of course, but we also need to detox that liver. A lot of people get all sorts of defensive and all, they, I won't use that analogy. They just get, they get a little ruffled, right? They get a little ruffled. And I have a podcast on explaining just what functional medicine detoxing is and what happens with your liver. I don't have time to go through it on the show, but suffice to say, if you had anyone actually do an environmental toxicity test, typically a heavy metal test, you're going to find some level of toxins. And that is because we live in a toxic soup of a world right now. And yes, our liver is always detoxing, but it's not able to get everything. And when we realize that our actual adipose tissue, our body fat, is 200 to 300 times more toxic than our blood, we begin to realize, well, where do those toxins start? In our adipose tissue? Of course not. They start in our blood. Well, why didn't the liver filter them like it was supposed to? Well, the liver wasn't able to get everything because it was deficient or there was simply too much. Okay? So we need to fix that. The third is the nervous system. If you are always, or in the majority of the time, in sympathetic nervous system dominance, which is fight or flight, then the body's not able to heal and repair and digest and absorb properly because that only happens in the parasympathetic nervous system. So we need to work on those hormones, calming cortisol levels, boosting thyroid to a greater degree. And all of this affects our body in what is called the neuro, think nervous system, endo, think hormones, and immune system, think immunity, right? So as we become more stressed, our hormones begin to change. As our hormones begin to change, our immune system becomes imbalanced. I wrote about that in depth in the Rain Barrel Effect. That book is free. And it's in our third year now. I always say our because I have such an amazing team. It's not just me. I wrote the book, but it is my team that helps me to get that to people all over the world, right? So that book is completely free at stephencabral.com. Simply pay shipping and handling, or you can pay full price over at Amazon. So whatever works for you as well. But I would love you to learn more about the root causes of metabolic inflexibility, which is the neuroendoimmune dysfunction. So where do I begin? Where do I begin helping people when they do not have this metabolic flexibility? Well, I do love to start with the 12-hour overnight intermittent fast. And the best way to get started with this is actually the more hours before midnight. That's an easy way to look at it. And the more hours before you fast before bed, the better. It's actually worse for people who are metabolically inflexible to skip breakfast because their blood sugar, their cortisol, their thyroid, and their hormones are going to be very imbalanced. We'll put it that way. Again, I'm trying not to use crude analogies during this show right now. So if you can go 3-4 hours before bed, it makes 12 hours very easy. Think of it this way. This is what I do. We try to end dinner by 6. Sometimes it's not till 6:30 because, the kids have different events, different things going on. Sometimes I do as well. So even if we look at 6:30 or so, well, what do we need to do? We only need to go till 6 that next morning. That's pretty easy, right? So if you're going to bed at 10, even if you stopped at 7, well, that's 3 hours before bed, right? So you can get better levels of deep sleep. So now you're going 7 to 7. You can certainly do that. I believe that you can do that. And the best time to stop is not snacking before bed. Who needs to snack before bed? Very few people. Very, very few people, except those people maybe with hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, and adrenal-based issues. But again, that can be corrected in about 16 weeks, 12 to 16 weeks. So again, there's no one size fits all. A lot of people love to give the one size fits all, but there's a one size fits most. And most people do well fasting 6 at night to 8 o'clock in the morning when they go to start their day. So that's 14 hours. Most people can do that. Not everybody can wait an hour or 2 hours after waking to eat. And those people should eat, at least in the beginning. They may be able to go longer later. So that's the first place to start. And then I definitely recommend a functional medicine detox. I formulated the one for Equilife, but you can always work with your integrative health practitioner to be able to see what they recommend as well. So what this is this is an actual 7, 14, or 21 day. If you've never done one before, I definitely recommend the 21 day. You don't have to, again, do exactly what we do in our practice, but you can at least see exactly what we do. We lay it all out, the whole program, at stevencabral.com/detox. And what it is it's 2 days, almost 2.5 days of doing these liquid-based shakes that speed up your autophagy and detox-based capacities. And the reason why you're doing these shakes is so that you don't get all these Herxheimer reactions, the headaches, the low mood, the lower blood sugar. And again, there's no real carbohydrates in these, but it's enough amino acids to make sure your body doesn't become too catabolic. And your body, believe it or not, actually needs amino acids for the detox-based process. Plus, there's broccoli extract, there's things called broccofane, glutathione, et cetera, that help with that. So that's a huge step as well, because that helps to really rebalance the body and then maintain that with the specific protocols and teachings that we give for free through that as well. The next thing, what I would recommend, if possible, again, not everybody's able to do this, and I get it, I understand, but at least I want to share with you exactly what works, what we do in our practice, and then you can find out what works best for you. So the next step is the Big 5 labs, or ideally you do that before your detox, because you actually want to see what the imbalances are, and then you can do your detox afterwards. So the Big 5 is looking at everything from gut to vitamin deficiencies, to mineral deficiencies, to heavy metals, to mitochondrial issues in the Krebs cycle, to looking at, what else do we look at? Omega-3s, we look at food sensitivities. It's absolutely remarkable. That's the Big 5. Now, let's say that you can't run the Big 5 because it's just not within your budget. Totally understand. You can start with something called the starter kit. The starter kit's going to give you all your vitamin levels, your mineral levels. It's going to look at your gut. It's going to look at your heavy metals, your stress levels, zinc to copper, and so many others. So that's a great one too, and that's a fraction of the price. So we can link those up. We can't link up nutritional supplements or the detox, but you can find that at stevencabral.com/detox. But you can look at these labs. And again, don't feel you ever have to run the labs through myself and my practice, which is a virtual practice all over the world. You can run it through any integrative health practitioner, and you can certainly run the majority of these through a naturopathic doctor that is trained in these specific modalities as well. So if you want to find someone locally, you're welcome to work with them too, but you can actually show them the labs you're looking to run, that you're looking at, and maybe even a functional medicine detox. Again, whatever works for you and your practitioner. We just want to be a good resource for you. So that's what I recommend. Now, after that, you start to get your body healthier. You're bringing up your deficiencies. You're removing those toxicities. What's next? How do you increase this metabolic flexibility? Well, just like anything, you push it a little bit, right? So you push it a little bit as a hermetic stressor. Maybe your workouts increase a little bit, right? Add a little bit more stress to the body. Not all the time. Make sure you're recovering. But also that 7 to 7 fast might become 6 at night to 8 in the morning. For some people, it might even go 6 at night to 10 in the morning, like we do in our Fatlocity weight loss program. For others, and that's a good daily intermittent fast, I do 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. It works great for my body. Again, you start to learn your body, but also once a week, typically on Mondays, 3 out of 4 Mondays a month, not every Monday, but 3 out of 4 Mondays a month, once a week, approximately. I go from dinner Sunday night to dinner Monday night. And what that allows for is it actually allows for just a little longer autophagy, 1 day a week. Do I feel any real issues with that day? No, sometimes I'll get a little hungry, but no real changes in energy, no real changes in mood. And that is just showing me like, okay, we're stronger, right? Our body's more metabolically flexible. So that's a nice way to test it. And then, of course, the next time you go to do your quarterly functional medicine detox over those 2.5 days, did you make it? Or did you need to stop and have a meal? And that's okay too. Remember, this is all part of the journey. We're all on this journey together. So, but if you're able to go a day and it's easier and then you still eat the next day, that's okay, right? But maybe after 2 or 3 of these quarterly functional medicine detoxes, you go the full 7 days. You made it. You're able to do those 2 liquid fasting days, and then you're able to do the other days, which are much, much easier. And if you feel yourself breezing through that, you know your body in terms of blood sugar, inflammation, deficiencies, toxicities, is so much stronger. That's really what it's all about. So it's kind of about small tests along the way, see how you're doing, and then in continuing to improve. So I'm happy to do a part 2 in this. If there's any additional questions, leave them in the comments. We really are happy to do additional shows. The show's every day. So I always am looking for topics that you feel would be helpful. So hopefully this was helpful. If it was, please do feel free to share it with anyone else you believe it could serve. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for tuning into today's show. It means the world to me. You know that. I appreciate your support. And as a member of our community, I wanted to let you know that, believe it or not, the holidays are already here. One of my favorite times of the year. I love to be able to celebrate it with our community, with friends, with family. I hope you do as well. One of the things that we do, though, over at EcoLife, once a year, we offer our annual holiday sale. This is savings of up to 25% off our already everyday low prices. That means you can save hundreds of dollars on your favorite at-home lab test, your favorite protocol, whether it be a heavy metal detox, functional medicine detox, CBO protocol, you name it, it is going to be up to 25% off. Plus, you can pick up and stock up on your favorite nutritional supplements. Going on right now over at EcoLife, the link to head on over there is stevencabral.com/shop. And when you are over there checking out all of the deals, make sure you sign up for the SMS text. Here's why. We're going to be doing special pop-up offers for the next week on SMS text. That means you're going to get exclusive deals when you're signed up as part of our SMS text community. Head on over to stevencabral.com/shop. Check out all the deals, savings of up to 25% off, and also head on over and grab that spot on the SMS text list to save on all those special pop-up offers. Take care. Enjoy the start to the holiday season.